How's it going, folks? I'm Graham Boyd, Xbox Live's AC Bongos, and I'm here at DICE Stockholm to give you everything you need to know about the new Giant's Shadow map for Battlefield 1. And I'm joined here by Stefan Strandberg, Creative Director on Battlefield 1, to give us the lowdown.
This map was the brainchild coming out of the production of the main game. We felt like there was one big battle left to tell.
So this is really in the final days.
The Battle of the Cell was the British 4th Army who pursued the Germans towards the Cell River. The fighting there included just house-to-house fighting as well as tanks along the railway tracks, which I think we don't have in the main game as much as we wanted to.
So Lars, the armoured train is back in Giant's Shadow. Tell us about how players will be able to leverage that when they play the map.
The armoured train, it is one-armed behemoth. The key thing with this map is really, remember, it's heavily armoured. You should fill it up. You know, a lone wolf in it won't really do it. Remember that you have the ranged and alternate weapons to go at the enemies and kind of soften them up before you roll in.
Are there any particular points in the map that are good places for players attacking the train to swarm it and take it down?
It is really at the sea flag, near the downed airship, where yes, you have the advantage of now you manage to work your way up, you're holding sea, but also there is so much rubble, kind of downed debris and everything from that airship that it's super hard to see what is coming up, lurking in the shadows and amongst the flames.
So Henrik, how can players best use tanks and transport vehicles and planes on Giant's Shadow?
My advice for any vehicle player would be to, if you're on the German side, go down on the right-hand side, which is the western side of the map, and kind of flank your way towards the crashed airship. From there, kind of take out people rushing down the hill towards the villages.
When it comes to the aircrafts, it's really a different thing, since, as always, they're much more dependent on how the battle evolves. What often happens is that the enemies dig in. It's really hard to root them out, but switching to the firebombs is a really good tactic there to root them out.
So tell us about the terrain of Giant's Shadow and how players are going to be able to use that terrain to their advantage.
First of all, Western Front is much more hilly than we think it is in different locales. And this terrain features a huge ridge line upon which the airship has crashed. And then the train tracks actually goes along the river edge and through the incredible giant that lies there. And that in itself is a place for some really interesting fighting.
And the airship itself is clearly kind of the icon of this map.
It's a kind of the landmark which you see wherever you are in the map. So it's something that's always in your line of sight. So the action tends to be drawn into the center of the area. And there's a lot of action happening and there's no real cover.
We are losing objective Duff.
I think the airship actually provides this kind of strategic importance, because on the side of the airship you also have these HE cannons. It's like a mounted machine gun that fires high explosive bullets. So if you capture this and hold this, it's going to be really, really difficult for the enemy to overtake you and take over the airship.
What for you are some of the key landmarks or strategic points that you think players will really latch onto?
I think some key landmarks is obviously the ending of it, which is a railway hub that we've built out to a much larger extent.
We wanted to, as a part of the map, create an area where you have more of the kind of hallway corridor gameplay. So people playing in the railway section of this map will recognize it from earlier maps like the Norska Canals from Battlefield 3, for example.
And you're also introducing a new weapon into Giant's Shadow. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, we do. It's the grenade crossbow. It goes for the support class, so basically anyone playing support can equip it. The beauty of it is really that it's one of the more silent weapons, of course, but with enormous punch. So using it wisely, you know, used to engage over distance, I think it's a good contribution both to that class and also the dynamics of the battle overall.
Tell us about the game modes that you'll be able to play in Giant's Shadow and maybe how the map affects the way those game modes play out.
What we're doing for Conquest is the big game mode. You capture points all over the map. For the smaller game modes you have Domination, for example, in the railway yard. What I think is most interesting there is the trains that provide both kind of a cover kind of mid-height. So you can both duck down underneath and shoot people in their feet, and also stand above them and try to snipe behind them.
All right, Stefan, can't wait to play Giant Shadow. For premium, people who pre-ordered, and for deluxe edition owners, when can they play?
13th of December.
And for everyone else?
20th of December.
Fantastic. Stefan, thank you so much. I hope you really enjoy Giant Shadow. Sounds like an incredible map. Can't wait to fight around that airship. We'll see you soon.
Xbox One S, now $249.